Hi, my name is Javid Kiani from the Internet Factor, and today I'm going to teach you how to do the Rubik's Cube within 1 minute. Now, I've been able to do the Rubik's Cube since I was about 12 years old, and I'm totally self-taught. I taught myself how to do the cube, and today I'm going to try and teach you how to do the Rubik's Cube too. Now, basically there's 3 ways that you can do a Rubik's Cube. The first method basically involves removing the stickers. Now, it's a method I don't actually recommend because after a while the stickers lose their stickiness and they tend to fall off the cube. So again, I don't recommend this method. However, if you're stuck for ideas, stuck for thoughts, and you just can't learn how to do the cube, that is one option open to you. Now, the second method is again a method I don't recommend. It's where you move the cube such as this, and you actually pull the pieces apart. Now again, I don't recommend this process because after a while the cube becomes very loose and it starts to rattle, so when you do start doing the cube, the pieces tend to fall off. Again, I don't recommend that method, but however, if you're stuck for ideas, stuck for thoughts, and you can't follow my simple steps and formulae, then it's a method that is open to you. Now, the final method is one of several methods that you can use to do the Rubik's Cube. Now, bearing in mind that the Rubik's Cube has got 43 quintillion moves, which basically means 43 with the 18 zeros at the end of it, moves. There's not very many people that can do the Rubik's Cube. So I'm going to teach you a beginner's method, and what I'll do now is I'm going to focus onto the cube itself so you can see exactly the moves I'm doing, and can hopefully replicate those moves and do the cube yourself also. Hopefully you should be able to see the cube a bit better now. Now, the method I'm going to use, as I stated before, is a beginner's method. However, again, as I've stated before, you really should spend some time familiarising with the cube before you attempt to do the whole thing. Now, I'm going to start off by doing one colour. I'll just pick one at random. I'll do blue. Now, again, this method assumes that you can do one colour. So again, you do need to spend some time with the cube just to make sure that you can do one colour. I'm doing this very slowly so you can see exactly what I'm doing. In my opinion, once you've doing the first colour and the first row is probably the hardest part of doing the cube. Now I'm just going to do another colour for you so you know that the cube is totally mixed up and that I'm not cheating or anything. I'll look at white now. At the moment what you can see is just 2 white spaces there on that face. Now the middle piece here, the centre piece, doesn't actually move, so that sort of forms the basis of the colour of the cube. So I'll keep that white there and move all the other whites into basically this space here. Bottom face of the cube has several whites there, so I'll just move them across, and I'll move the white across from that side as well. Again, the bottom face has a white there, which I'll pull across to the top face. Now, I'm just going to do one colour here, and from one colour it'll become apparent how you should do the cube. Now, once you've done one colour, you can choose, when it comes to one colour, basically you can choose any colour that you like. I'm just starting off from white for no particular reason, but if you're trying to do the cube in under 1 minute, it's always best to have a look around the cube and find a colour that's basically the most done, and maybe perhaps focus on that colour. Now once you've done one colour, the next step is basically to form the first row around that colour. Now just to remind you again, this is one of many methods that you can use to do the Rubik's Cube. This is, in my opinion, a beginner's method, so if you're not too familiar with the workings of a cube, you should be able to follow this and copy my moves and basically do the cube yourself, hopefully within a few hours of trying these moves that I'm going to show you today. Now I'm just going to do the first row here. If I start off with perhaps the blue, I want to move that blue to basically this position over here. And again, if you can do one colour, you should be able to do this quite easily. And here you see that I've actually done the blue row. Now I'm going to do the same with the red row here. So I'm going to move this red, so you can see the edge here. I've got the white and the red, and I'm going to move that across here. Okay, so basically I've got the blue done here, and the red is almost done here. And I need to put in the red and white into this position here. And I've done that row and that row too. Now I need to do exactly the same with the orange row and also the green row, which is going to appear on this side. So again, I look for the white and the orange, which we see here, and I'm just going to push that across into this position here. So there you have it. Now I've almost done the orange row, I've done the blue row, I've done the red row, and I'm going to work on the green row. This colour here, it's a white and green, so I'm going to push that into this position here. I'm doing this slowly, so you should be able to hopefully follow exactly what I'm doing. And now finally I'm going to push the white and the green into this position here. So that's the second step done. So I've got the one colour done, the white is now complete, and I've also completed the first row. So if you look around the cube, you'll notice that the first row is now complete. Now in my opinion, this is probably the hardest bit of doing the Rubik's Cube using this method. The rest of the cube is done basically using patterns and fixed movements. So I'm going to just show you these patterns so that when you try to attempt to do the cube yourself, all you need to do is follow the patterns I'm going to show you now.